I can't thank you guys enough for the outpour of love. Very emotional. Because I'm the one that shows up for people so they don't feel alone. I'm the one that gets up and feeds people so they don't feel alone. I'm the one that says, it's okay, my love, so they don't feel alone. And I have felt so alone in this process until y'all stepped in. And all the outpour of love, the people checking on me and calling me, it means the world to me. I just want to let you guys know I'm okay and, be more visible. Thank you guys so much for the outpour of love. It means the world to know that you're not alone.
In late January 2026, following the sudden and unexpected death of Shirley Raines, the founder and CEO of the nonprofit Beauty to the Streetz, investigators and the public alike were left to parse limited details from law enforcement and family statements about what had occurred in her Henderson, Nevada home. Raines, a viral social media personality known as Miss Shirley and a prominent advocate for unhoused communities in Los Angeles and Nevada, was found unresponsive during a welfare check and subsequently pronounced dead at age 58. Initial reporting noting her influential work delivering food, hygiene supplies, and dignity to people experiencing homelessness, a life of service that made her passing all the more poignant. In the weeks that followed, evolving accounts from family, police, community voices, and media outlets gradually illuminated the circumstances surrounding her death, the evidence available, early misconceptions, and the questions that still linger. Every case starts with evidence and ends with truth. We examine facts, not theories, details, not drama. Subscribe now and stay updated as we uncover the facts behind every case. On January 27, 2026, Shirley Raines was found unresponsive inside her residence in Henderson, Nevada. The discovery occurred after a family member requested a welfare check when repeated attempts to contact her were unsuccessful. Officers from the Henderson Police Department responded to the home and entered under standard welfare check procedures. Upon entry, first responders located Raines inside the residence and confirmed she was deceased. Authorities immediately conducted a preliminary assessment of the scene. According to official statements, there were no visible signs of forced entry, no apparent physical trauma, and no indications of an altercation. The condition of the home did not suggest disturbance. Law enforcement publicly stated within hours that foul play was not suspected based on initial observations. The case was classified as an unattended death investigation, which is standard protocol when an individual is found deceased without immediate witnesses. Responsibility for determining the official cause and manner of death was transferred to the Clark County Coroner's Office. An autopsy was scheduled and toxicology testing were ordered as part of routine procedure. Until those findings were completed, no final medical determination could be issued. At this stage, the investigation shifted from potential criminal inquiry to medical examination. The absence of immediate criminal indicators defined the investigative direction moving forward. A detailed scene assessment was conducted inside the residence. Investigators documented that there were no signs of forced entry at doors or windows. Locks were intact. There was no evidence of vandalism or ransacking. Personal belongings appeared undisturbed. No signs of struggle were observed in the bedroom or surrounding areas. Furniture was in place, no broken items, overturned objects, or visible bloodstains suggesting violence. There were also no reports of missing valuables or theft. Raines was reportedly found near her bed. The position of the body did not indicate defensive posture or attempts to flee. Investigators noted that the scene characteristics were consistent with a sudden medical event rather than an external attack. One detail that attracted attention was the reported presence of a single pill located near her bedside. The pill was collected as evidence for laboratory analysis. At the time of discovery, its composition and relevance were not publicly confirmed. There was no immediate determination that it was connected to the cause of death. Family members later stated that Raines was not known to be taking ongoing prescription medication. That statement increased public curiosity about the pill's origin, but investigators did not treat its presence as proof of wrongdoing. Medical records, toxicology screening, and autopsy findings became the primary sources of evidence in clarifying the cause of death. Without physical trauma or signs of intrusion, investigators relied on internal examination rather than forensic crime scene reconstruction. The absence of external injury and the lack of criminal indicators significantly narrowed the scope of the investigation. Instead of pursuing suspects or conducting interrogations, authorities focused on medical evaluation. The turning point in public understanding occurred when family representatives clarified that investigators were leaning toward natural causes. This statement aligned with law enforcement's early assessment that foul play was not suspected. Officials confirmed that there were no defensive wounds, no blunt force trauma, and no signs of forced entry. There were also no persons of interest identified. The lack of suspects or criminal leads further reinforced the medical direction of the case. Authorities emphasized that the investigation was procedural. An unattended death requires documentation, autopsy review, and toxicology testing regardless of suspicion level. This clarification shifted public interpretation from uncertainty to procedural standard practice. The breakthrough in this case did not come from discovering new physical evidence. It came from confirming the absence of criminal evidence. No homicide indicators were present. No evidence suggested third-party involvement. The elimination of homicide as a viable theory represented the defining investigative shift. The case transitioned fully into a medical determination process. The most significant development was not what investigators uncovered, but what they did not find. In the immediate aftermath of the announcement, online speculation emerged. Due to Shirley Raines' public profile and visibility on social media, various unverified theories circulated. Some online commentators suggested overdose as a possibility, referencing the reported pill found near the bed. Others speculated about foul play without presenting evidence. A minority of commentary introduced conspiracy-based claims unrelated to official findings. The presence of a pill became central to many assumptions. Without confirmed toxicology results, its existence was interpreted as potential medication misuse by some observers. But law enforcement did not confirm that the pill was connected to the cause of death. Another early misinterpretation involved the welfare check itself. Some online discussions implied that a welfare check suggested suspicious circumstances. In reality, welfare checks are routine responses when someone cannot be contacted, particularly when family members express concern. Social media accelerated the spread of these unverified theories before official statements were fully disseminated. As a result, investigators had to rely on factual updates to counter misinformation indirectly. They did not publicly debate speculation, but reiterated that no foul play was suspected. As official clarifications emerged, early theories gradually lost traction. The absence of criminal evidence, combined with confirmation that the investigation was medical in nature, caused initial assumptions to collapse. No arrests were made, no suspects were named, no criminal charges were filed. The narrative shifted from speculation to procedural documentation.
On January 27, 2026, law enforcement officials in Henderson, Nevada, responded to a welfare check at the residence of Shirley Raines, founder and CEO of the nonprofit organization Beauty to the Streetz. The request was made by a family member after repeated attempts to contact Raines had failed. Officers arrived at the home and conducted a standard assessment, following established protocols for unattended deaths. Upon entering, Raines was located inside the bedroom area of her residence. There were no signs of forced entry, broken windows, or any other indicators of intrusion. The interior of the home appeared orderly, with all belongings and furniture in place. At the time of discovery, there were no immediate signs of trauma or violence on the premises. The scene, while initially ambiguous to responding officers, was treated as an unattended death, consistent with procedures in cases of sudden, unexplained passing. The first responders' primary task was to document the scene, ensure safety, and verify the identity of the deceased. Standard protocol required that the area remain undisturbed until further medical personnel and the coroner arrived. At this stage, the investigation was not classified as criminal, and all actions were oriented toward gathering medical and environmental data relevant to the cause of death. The scene assessment included noting the position of the body, the surrounding environment, any medications or substances present, and any potential indicators of a health emergency. A single pill reportedly observed near the bedside was noted by responders, but was not immediately linked to any particular cause or event. At this point, what initially may have appeared as uncertain circumstances began to take on a clearly procedural and medical-focused approach. Shirley Raines' last known movements provide context for the events leading to the discovery of her death. In the days immediately preceding the welfare check, Raines remained active on her social media platforms, posting content that reflected the ongoing outreach work of Beauty to the Streetz. She continued to engage in charitable activities, distributing food, hygiene products, and personal care items to individuals experiencing homelessness. There were no indications in her posts, communication, or routine that suggested any imminent health crisis. Family members reported that their last communication with Raines occurred shortly before the welfare check and appeared normal. There were no emergency calls placed from her residence, nor any reports from neighbors or associates indicating urgent distress. Collectively, the evidence suggests that her final days were outwardly consistent with her established routines, showing no obvious deviations that would have foreshadowed her sudden passing. To understand the broader context of her passing, it is necessary to consider Raines' background in public life. Born on December 29, 1967, in Compton, California, she later established herself as a community advocate through her nonprofit organization. As founder and CEO of Beauty to the Streetz, Raines built a platform for outreach and engagement with unhoused populations, focusing on providing not only basic necessities, but also services that supported dignity and self-esteem. Her work received national recognition, including being named a CNN Hero of the Year in 2021. Through her digital platforms, she cultivated a large following, using social media to expand the reach of her charitable activities and advocate for systemic attention to homelessness. Her personal history, including the death of her son years earlier, contributed to her motivation and dedication to serving others. Raines' life and work were defined by consistency, visibility, and public engagement in community service. Despite the clarity surrounding her background and recent movements, several elements were initially overlooked in public reporting. Early coverage lacked confirmation from medical authorities, creating a vacuum where speculation could arise. Many media and social platforms did not clearly differentiate between a welfare check and a criminal investigation, leading to confusion about the nature of law enforcement involvement. The presence of the single pill near the bed was reported widely, though no analysis had yet determined its relevance or whether it was incidental. Additionally, the investigation followed a natural cause pathway, which received comparatively less attention than a potential criminal scenario would have, thereby limiting the intensity of early media coverage. These factors contributed to a public perception that may have emphasized uncertainty or complexity where none existed. What was initially missed in reporting and public understanding was not evidence of crime or foul play, but clarity in communication regarding procedural standards, investigative focus, and the status of medical review. Several lingering questions remain regarding the circumstances of Raines' death. The coroner's final medical determination has yet to be publicly released, leaving the precise cause of death unspecified. It is unclear whether an undiagnosed health condition contributed to her passing, or if the pill observed at the scene had any clinical significance.
Other silent health indicators, which may not have been publicly noted or visible to family and associates, also remain unknown. Additionally, the case highlights broader considerations regarding public response and media coverage in instances involving high-profile figures, how speculation can influence public perception, and the responsibilities of reporting when facts are limited. These questions underscore the procedural and investigative gaps that can exist between the initial discovery of an unattended death and the public understanding of the event. This reconstruction provides a clear, detailed account suitable for investigative review or informational reporting. It adheres strictly to verified facts and procedural logic, presenting a chronological analysis in reverse order without emotional interpretation. The focus remains on the factual sequence of discovery, scene assessment, personal history, investigative clarity, and outstanding questions awaiting medical resolution. Facts verified, case concluded. Justice is found in what remains proven. This is Sunday Crime until the next investigation. Subscribe for more verified stories and real criminal investigations.